Hello, my honeys. I have been sick for the past 2 weeks, so I'm sorry. I'm really behind on my videos. But anyway, I filmed this footage a while ago, and I wanted to create a prop sakura tree for my cosplay content, and also for like if I ever wanted to have it in the background of my videos and things like that, just like a prop sakura tree. And I started building it, and one of you guys requested that I turn it into a DIY video, and I got through some of the process of it before actually starting to film it, because it really was in anticipation for using for cosplay stuff, which you guys may or may not know I don't share on my YouTube because it's totally niche and totally separate. Yeah, but anyway, I decided I was going to start filming it, so come along for this quick DIY video on how I made a prop sakura tree, like full human size, for using in backgrounds, for using in photography, you name it, whatever it be, prop sakura tree, and for super cheap with paper mache and cardboard and a few items off Amazon. Also, if you like this video, or if you know anyone else that might get use out of this video, please consider sharing it to them so they can also experience and learn how to do this. Also, if you feel like this is a great thing and super unique, also just share it to your social media to help my channel and my audience and our community grow as well. Anyway, let's hop right into it. Alrighty guys, so for this DIY, you will of course be needing fake sakura flower cords, fake wire branches, cardboard boxes, newspaper or paper bags, Elmer's glue, water, and brown/black paint for painting it. This is a paper mache method, so we are going to be using easy stuff that you'll most likely have in your garbage. These are some fake wire branches I got off Amazon for super cheap. Also some fake sakura cord flowers that I also got on Amazon for super cheap. And because we did just move countries, we have so much garbage and so much cardboard. So if you are planning to do this DIY, definitely keep any Amazon boxes or boxes from any orders that you may be getting recently, so that you have the cardboard that you will need for your base. For the newspaper and paper bags, you're just going to want to shred them all up into nice little strips that you can use for your paper mache. Now, I know most of you guys probably did paper mache in grade school, like most of us, but if you haven't, it's super easy and doesn't need much explanation. So for my DIY, I'm going to be using a long cardboard box that I got from some curtain rods and a square cardboard box for the base. Out of the cardboard box that's square for the base, I'm going to be cutting a rectangular shape to nicely and perfectly fit the shape of my long rectangular box, and that cutout is only going to be on one side of that base, where I'm going to be sticking the long cardboard box in to create the trunk of the tree. Then after that, I'm going to be prepping my paper mache bond, which is simply just half Elmer's glue and half water. Then saturating each strip of newspaper or paper bag, I'm going to be sticking those on in whatever method and shape I want to kind of hide and mask and make the shape of the cardboard boxes look a little more like bark on a tree. And then at the base, I just kind of fanned it out to make it not look so much like a rectangle going into a square box. Now you can be more detailed with it and actually make the square box look more like roots, but because I was making this really quickly, I didn't really care too much, since I was just going to cover the base with a blanket or something. Now, because you are using wet paper mache, it is going to take it up to 24 hours or longer to dry, depending on how saturated you got your cardboard boxes. For me, it took about 2 whole days, so you're going to wait about that long before you can work on it. Again, you want it to be mostly or completely dry before you start painting it, or your paint won't adhere so nicely and it will take even longer. It's just not worth it. For the paint, you can go to a dollar store, or you can go to a craft store to buy the paint of your choice. For my sakura tree, I wanted more of like a blackish brown effect, but of course you can go with more of a lighter brown, a washed out brown, honestly whatever color suits your best. Since I did not have a giant amount of brown black paint on hand. I made my own brownish black by mixing my primary colors in with my burnt umber shade of paint. I already had these paints on hand because sometimes I like to have fun and I like to paint a little bit. Or for instances like these where I make random crafts, I could just do it. So mixing in some primary colors, burnt umber, and a little bit of black, I was able to create a blackish brown shade that I wanted for the trunk of my tree. You won't need too much paint ideally, but it totally depends on the size that your sakura tree turns out to be. It really is dependent on your customization and what you wanted to achieve with the sizing, the shape, the amount of branches, and method you're using. So now that it's been 2 whole days, my paper mache trunk is dry. So I'm just going to go over with this brush and my paint that I put together and just roughly paint over it. I kind of enjoyed the natural brown showing through from my paper bag strips, so I did leave a little bit of that for added texture, but overall I filled in most of the original color of the paper mache because I didn't want too much of it exposed. But with it painted black, I was loving the texture that the paper mache gave. I know I could have cared more about the base of the tree, but with my time, I just didn't have that much time. But thankfully, because it's paper mache, you can always add more to it later. Again, I just want to remind you guys, I know I didn't give much detail on the actual construction of the shape because I already did it before I decided filming this tutorial. So if you want more information on how to exactly paper mache, if you've never done it before, definitely look up some YouTube videos on that. But now that my paint is dry, I waited about another 24 hours to be able to start working with it again. I took my wire fake branches that I got off Amazon and a pair of scissors and made little holes wherever I wanted my branches to pop out from, and simply just stuck my wire branches in whatever shape and pattern I was vibing. Now, I feel like this step took a little bit longer than the actual constructing of the base of the tree because I really wanted the branches to go in the way that would work with the photo shoot that I was planning to do. And when the branches weren't long enough, I would simply attach another wire branch and wrap it around to the branch that was already connected to the base to extend it a little bit longer. Now, this did weigh down the branch and make them hang low. So to help secure the branch and keep them lifted, I would use a stray branch from a other branch that was higher up on my tree to wrap around the lower hanging branch to give it some more support. And this is the shape that I ended up coming out with. So now it's time to attach my corded fake sakura flowers. These were so cheap and so easy to find on Amazon. Honestly, Amazon in the United States just has so much more stuff than the Canadian one. It's crazy. But this part was super fun as well. Simply just grab all your sakura flowers, hop up on a step stool, and start wrapping them around the branches in whatever way you're vibing the best. Now, for me, I feel like I could have had a few more, like I should have bought another pack of wire branches to really help me get more fluffiness to my tree, but it worked out for me nonetheless. And I was able to have just the right amount of branches and sakura petals on my tree. One of you guys also saw this on my Instagram and said that it would also be so pretty if I added some fairy lights in around the branches, which I totally agree. It would be even more cute and beautiful and such an amazing prop, but I didn't feel like doing that for mine. So I'm just having it bare and simple with just flowers and branches and some extra dangly branches to give a weeping tree effect. And there you have it. That is how I made, on a budget, a sakura tree decor for inside my house. The purpose of this sakura tree is a prop, so I will be using it for cosplay photo shoots and maybe like product photo shoots. If you wanted something a little more high quality, you could, of course, put a lot more effort into it. I was trying to make this really fast, so I just really did it as quickly as I could, with it still looking decent for photos. That being said, mine did dry a little lopsided, so my tip would be, while it's drying with the paper mache, to make sure it's secured on both sides so it dries straight. Overnight, it started to lean crooked and it hardened in that position. Additionally, you can also put a counterweight inside the box base portion of it, which is why I did not seal the bottom of it so that if I wanted to make it more secure, I could put like some sandbags in it, some little workout weighted wristbands in it, anything to just kind of keep it more sturdy and secure, since mine did end up being slightly lopsided. But I am obsessed with it. I think it's so pretty. It would be even prettier if you put some twinkle fairy lights in it. I'm not gonna do that because it would defeat the purpose of the shoot that I'm using it for, but I might later on consider that. I also might consider later on adding more sakura petals and more branches. But for now, I think it's absolutely perfect and I'm so excited to use it. I will include some sneak peeks in this video of how it turned out in my photo shoot for you guys. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this DIY tutorial on how to make your own prop at home sakura tree. Please thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Share it to any friends that you think would love doing this DIY project. Plus it will help me out and help my channel get rediscovered. I would really appreciate it. And of course, comment down below on what kind of prop tree you would make. Would you make a sakura tree? Would you make a different kind of tree? A magnolia? That would be hard. That'd be kind of hard. Let me know in the comment section down below and subscribe to see more day in the life videos with me.